Hello crafty friends, it's Susie Chocolate here from Susie Chocolate Crafts. Today I'm going to show you a way to make a vinyl decal on your Scan and Cut. And so I thought I would just do my own name, Susie Chocolate Crafts. And I'm going to choose a nice font and show you a couple of different ways that you can do your own vinyl decals. You could be putting names on water bottles, a quote for your wall in your lounge or your bathroom, bedroom, any place that you can stick some vinyl, whether it be on an object, a box, or a tub that you're keeping, your die cuts, or you're keeping your scissors in, or whatever, and you want to just name everything. And so you've got some easy, recognizable things on your shelf, then this is what you can do. So I'm in the front page here. I'm going to choose the fonts, and I'm on an SDX 135, and so my fonts might be slightly different to yours if you've got a CM machine, or if you've got a different SDX machine. And so I'm just going to show you what font selection I have. So those, and I've also got these as well. I think there's some really quite nice different fonts there. I've used quite a few of them for different things. I've made some stars with names through the middle. I've made some stars with Happy Christmas, Good Luck, and all that type of thing, just using the different fonts, weld them together, and then you can attach your name or sentiment to any shape that you want to. I'm not going to show you that today. I can do that in another tutorial if you'd like me to. Today I'm just going to show you how easy it is to cut some vinyl. I'm not quite sure which font to use. I think that one's quite curly, and so I'm going to show you first how you can do it if you just choose it from the machine like we are here. I'm going to try and do everything on the machine because although you can do this in the canvas workspace, not everybody likes to use a computer or has got a computer to use, and so because you can do it on the machine, why not? So I've done a capital S, then I'm going to go into lowercase, I'm going to do an U and a Z and an I, and then I want a capital C. I don't have a gap, so I'm not going to do a gap, so I'm just going to quickly whiz through chocolate, and then we'll have a gap, and then we'll do crafts, capital C RAFTS, Susie Chocolate Crafts. Okay, and so it's put that on my mat. It's saying here that the letters are just over 1.5 inches high, and it's almost 12 inches long. Now I don't really want to have it that long. I'm going to stick it on the front of my Scan and Cut. I want to put it along here, and so I've got a little ruler in here somewhere. 6 inches is going to be a nice size, and so I'm going to pop you back up onto there, and we will make that 6 inches wide once we get into the mat. And so we're going to set that on there, then we're going to edit object, and we're going to make this is going to be the 6 inches. Now if I leave the equal changes so that we change the width and the height at the same time, which is this button here, it's saying it's reducing or increasing the height and the width at the same time. Let's just see if I do it to 6 inches what height it goes down to. So oops, There we are. So it's gone down to under an inch. I'd really like it to be a little bit taller, I think. So I'm going to press this button here so we can change the height without changing the width. So I'm just going to increase this back up to about an inch. Let's just have a look at how wide my ruler is. That's just over an inch, so that's great. So let's do that. I'm going to leave it at 1.15 and say okay, okay, okay. Select cut, and oh, I should have set half cut. Now we need to go into the spanner and then we're going to do half cut. So I'll just go back out of that. So I went into here, I went into the spanner when you're ready to cut, went into the spanner and I went down a page on mine. Yours might be in a slightly different place, but you want to look for half cut. And so we need to put the half cut on, which means that it's going to cut the top of the vinyl, the sticky vinyl, but it's not going to cut the carrier sheet. And we're going to say okay. And then I'm going to just pop my piece, I'll cut a little piece of vinyl and I'm going to stick it on my mat. That's all ready to go now. And so I'm just going to say ready to cut and start the process. So just keep giving that a rub while it's testing. I've got an auto blade on my SDX, the 135, which is the SDX that's available in the UK. That's not the Disney one. And so it's now cutting the top, the pink part of it, and not the plasticky carrier sheet at the back. And then I'll show you how we will take it off of the carrier sheet and put it onto the front of my scan and cut. So I'll just whiz through this. And there we are, that's cut nicely. And so I'm just going to take that off and bring it up to the camera, and hopefully you can see there, if I hold it in that light, there we go, you can see the Susie chocolate craft and how that has been cut. Okay, so let me just get rid of my mat and get some transfer tape. Now you can get different sorts of transfer tape, and just let me change it down onto my desk. So this is some transfer tape. It's a bit like masking tape that I got from a professional vinyl decal place. When I was first starting with my scan and cut and I wanted some vinyl, I thought the cheapest way is to go and see if I can buy a little bit from this place, which is in a little village about 10 miles away. And surprise, surprise, I went and explained what I was doing and they gave me this huge great big box of offcuts for £5. Amazing. And I've got loads of it. The rolls are, well, like rolls of wrapping paper, and there's probably at least a foot or a metre of vinyl on each of them. And so I've got two big bagfuls of it that's stacked up the corner of all different colours, and some of it is waterproof and some of it is not. But they gave me this little roll, as I say, it looks like masking paper, but it's reusable. And so as you can see, I've got these pieces here that I have used. Now, have I got a piece that is long enough to cover my Susie chocolate? Yeah, that will work. And so whatever sort of transfer paper you've got, whether yours is clear, most of it I think is clear, but a lot of it is like this masking type paper. And so just cover the top And with your little spatula that you've got in your machine, so I'll get mine out. Whoops. So with the little spatula, you need to just give it a good rub all the way over, like that. Make sure it's really adhered to the vinyl. And then, to make it a little bit easier, I'm just going to chop this off. Yeah, so we've put that nicely on there. There we are. And then if you just peel, keep pressing it down. There's a couple of ways you can do this. I'll show you both of them. Just keep pressing them down and pull this back quite flat. So pull this back quite flat to the vinyl. And just make sure that is grabbing hold. Yep, so let's get the eye. Yeah, so we've got the eye and then the C, and have another little press it down. The flatter you can pull it off, the better it comes away. I'm being really cack-handed, I'm afraid, because I have got my arm in a sling. I've just had a shoulder replacement surgery, and so I'm sorry I can't hold my arm in the angle that I need to be able to do this. There we are. And so we have got my vinyl decal on here, and so there's just the middles that need to be taken out of some of the words, and so we just need to get a little pokey tool, and so I'm just going to pull out these little middle bits. Okay, so there we are. So there's my Susie Chocolate Crafts. Just grab that little bit out of there. And I've quickly cut another one just to show you the second way you can do it. So the other way you can do it is you can totally separate it and leave the words on the backing on the carrier sheet, and then put your transfer tape onto it that way. And so if you hold this, again, hold this as flat to the desk as you can and just whiz along like that. Leave that bit lying there. And so then you need to just weed out these bits out of all of your little cut letters like we did on the previous one. I think that's all of them gone out of there. So that's it sitting on the carrier sheet. And then I've got another piece of transfer tape, and I'm just going to sit this on the top of that, and then get my little spatula and really press this down. If you haven't got a spatula, well, all the scan and cuts come with this little spatula, but if you've lost it, you can use any sort of an old credit card or something flat. You can use any little spatula that you use for any pastes and things like that. Just pop your finger on top of it, and so you're giving it a really good press down, and then you can just reveal it like that. Oops, if only you had two proper arms. Right, so keep it flat again, keep it flat to the desk, and there we are. We have our Susie chocolate crafts. So let's throw that carrier sheet away. So that's what the half cut does anyway. You see the half cut cuts through the vinyl, but it doesn't cut through this carrier sheet. So anybody who hasn't done vinyl before, that's what your half cut does. Now, it's important that you reset your machine back to your full cut, or you might forget, like I did on my when I was doing a previous tutorial, and I tried to cut some paper and wondered why it wouldn't cut, and then realized it was still on the half a cut. And so now let's just show you how to get this onto your object. I'm putting it onto my machine, and so I'm just going to go up here so you can see what I'm doing. And so I've got the choice of both of these. They now look exactly the same, just there was two different ways. You'll find the way that you like to actually do it, but they both now look exactly the same. There we are. And so I'm just going to use one of them, it doesn't matter which one, to put on my machine. I'm going to, I think I want to have it about there. Now I'm just going to eyeball this to see if it's straight, but obviously if you want to, if I was putting it onto something more important, I would make sure that it was identical. So I'm measuring from the top of my S there to this crease here, which is 8 centimeters. So if then I go to the top of another capital, and actually that is spot on, that's brilliant. And so you probably could use your ruler, yeah. So if you haven't got a spatula, you can use the end of your ruler there. So give it a good pressing down around all of your little areas. I like to do a few little circular motions and some straight up and down. Just make sure that all your edges, and especially if you've got, like I've got a dot over the Susie which is not attached, make sure that you've given it a good rub like that. And then this is the reveal. So again, it's better if you can just roll it down, keep it flat to the surface. So that one hasn't quite given that another little, and just carry on like that along the whole of your decal. Oops, that one's not quite attached. Don't want to bend that. sure that's all adhered properly, I would put a piece of paper on the top and then just go back over and make sure all the edges are fully adhered, and there you go. That is the easy way, nice and quick, how to do a little decal, whether you want to label some boxes, some magazine racks and some books. You can put vinyl on anything, and you can also cut any of the patterns that are in the machine in vinyl. You can put this onto the heat transfer vinyl and iron it onto t-shirts or hats or any type of clothing, materials, bags or whatever you want. So the world is your oyster. There are so many ways that you can use ordinary vinyl, heat transfer vinyl, waterproof vinyl to put onto your vehicles and outside walls and things like that. I showed you there the easiest way to do it, putting all the letters together on the same screen. The other way to do it is select individual letters and then you can join them up. You can the spaces between them, you can separate wider, you can join them up and weld them together so that the word is all adjoining. I'll show you that in another little tutorial because I wanted to make this one short. I'm really chuffed with that. I think that looks really special and it matches my craft room. So let me know what you think. Have you tried vinyl before? I'm sorry that I was a bit cack-handed in trying to do everything with one arm, but my shoulder's in a sling, my arm is in a sling for my replacement shoulder for 4 to 6 weeks, and so I will try and get some more tutorials done over the next few weeks, but I'll have to choose some projects that are fairly straightforward and allow me to doing it with one arm. Well, thank you very much for watching. Let me know how you get on, and if there's anything else you would like me to show you in a project for your scan and cut, please do leave it in the comments, and look forward to seeing you soon. Bye bye.